I don't always have all the answers, but better believe I'm asking the questions. Like, you know, trying to figure this thing out. So just ask good questions. Yep. And we'll get into all, we're gonna do situational as well and break this field down and get this dialed in.
Sure. I'm Eli, 26. This is my second season.
Dope.
And I want every piece of feedback I can get.
Hell yeah.
And improve my landing off the break.
You got it. Yeah, we're gonna do gunfighting, not gunfighting, but just a gun posture drill. And I know a lot of you guys already know this, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't just hit on each subject, right? So we'll get into that here in a second and just dial in snap shooting and how we should be positioning our bodies. And then we'll get into off the break shooting. And then I do want to do like a little gauntlet drill where we traverse down the Doritos and then traverse down the snake side and do like it's like a gauntlet essentially where you stop at a bunker, shoot at an opponent, go to the next one, shoot down the wire, and then we'll bunker out the 50. It's a pretty fun one. But we're going to get into all that good stuff and off the break shooting as well.
Sean, 35, started playing back in 10-man, 7-man days.
Hey, hell yeah.
Haven't played in 7 years because of work.
Yep.
Playing again now, and
good to have you back.
Just trying to get some knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for coming out, man. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Justin, 30. Tournament paintball probably was 6, altogether 20-ish.
Nice.
I'm just trying to fine-tune the fundamentals.
Yep.
Break shooting, snap shooting, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got to dial in the off-the-break shooting on this fucking field, man. There's nothing more important than that. Dynasty, we're always talking about, we call it Project 54. Have you guys heard of that? No? Okay. I really, really want you guys to implement this into your, like as of immediately, you're using this new code calling system that I'm about to teach you right now. And what it is 54 means that we have 5, they have 4. Yeah, okay. So, and the reason that I want you guys to use that, remember I talked about the 3 things we need to know before we get into that high-level paintball is how we're going to win. G count, or how many of them have we killed? How many of us do we have alive? Where are they? And then how are we going to win? Those are the only 4 things you need to be talking about on a paintball field, okay? And if I was like a professor, I would give you a quiz at the end and I would ask you, what are the 4 things we need to be talking about on the paintball field? So don't forget those 4 things, all right? And what 54 does is it knocks out those first 2 immediately. I already handled those first 2 and now I'm on to where are they at, right? Otherwise, you're wasting all this time trying to figure out, you know, asking, and like I said, asking questions is good, but if we can skip right past those 2 and dial that in immediately, we know that if we didn't lose anybody, we have 5. If we shot someone, they have 4. If we didn't shoot anyone, they have 5. So that immediately I can call out 55 or 54. And our objective is to always have a 54. That's what we want. We want that 20% advantage immediately, right? Because it means that somewhere they have a handicap. Now, not only do I need to know what the 54 call is and if we have it, but where did it come from, which is more important than anything, because from that information of the depth of information of where it came from, now I can start to see the field and see where the hole is. We got to make good decisions, all right? And the way we can do that is by finding those openings, finding the opportunity, and then using it against the team, right? We need to outsmart these guys. That's what paintball is. That's why it's so damn fun. It's a game of wit. It's a game of outsmarting your opponent. You're hunting other people out here, the smartest individuals on the planet, right? It's one of the funnest things you'll ever do in your life. But we got to really put it together, and the best way we can do that is with Project 54 and dialing in that off-the-break shooting. So I really, really want to put a big emphasis on our off-the-break shooting and make sure we can start using that 54 and getting that advantage immediately. All right, guys? Yeah, absolutely. For the couple of you that talked about your left hand, I want you guys at home carrying that thing around with you in your left hand. You know what I'm saying? Like when you step to, like, what's up? You want some of this with my left hand? You know what I mean? Like, get comfortable with your gun in the left hand. I always have my gun somewhere in my house all set up like this, and I just always have it with me. It's like my other thing, you know what I'm saying? This is my girl right here. She's always with me and ready to go. So just take the time to do all the little things, man. There's so many little things that you can do on the field, off the field, that'll make you a better paintball player. And one of them is just having your gun in your hand and practicing snap shooting. I still, to this day, will look in the mirror and see how my profile looks when I step up to a bunker, because the reason the Russians are so good is when they step up, they don't leave anything hanging out. Obviously your wrist is against your gun, but there's nothing extra. When they step up, the first thing that you see is a barrel and a paintball. And that's what I want to get into right now is how to properly gunfight. So let's start here at this tower, and we're going to shoot at this target right here. If you guys want to come back here. So every single engagement that we get into in paintball is a one-on-one, right? All we're doing is playing a bunch of one-on-ones. That's all paintball is. So I need you guys to get really good at being efficient one-on-one players. There were a couple of you that are stand out that I could see have a really good understanding of this, but what I'm doing in every single paintball game is I'm drawing lines, all right? I find my opponent, I check, and I draw lines. So if you stand behind me, from this target to the tower, it creates this invisible line, right? And I'm pretending that target has a gun. So if I'm leaving anything, my foot, elbow, how many of you guys have your nipple sticking into your wrist? Yeah. So that creates, so just turn it so that it's straight up and down, because that is just an extra inch that they have on me when I go to gunfight where it could be that much tighter. I always put my wrist flat against my gun. And this is another big one. All my gun movement is done with my front hand and this socket. This just pulls the trigger. That's all I'm using this hand for. So I want you guys to get really good at making sure that when you step up to your target, we're drawing lines and we have a really good profile. I want you guys to try that. Like put the tank in that knuckle and then just use that front hand. And I'm even using it and kind of pushing it into the socket. So when I gunfight, it's all from this. This is just pulling the trigger, all right? And another big thing that I see is sometimes players have their tank too low and you can't drop your elbow under the tank. It's right? So you might have to put it up a little bit higher. That way that elbow drops under the tank. When you snap out, I should be able to put a piece of paper against you and it should be flat against you. There shouldn't be anything poking out because that is what's gonna give you away, all right? A lot of players, they're like, shit, I can't gunfight, or I suck at one-on-ones. Well, it might just be that you're giving yourself away every time. You know, you're leaving something hanging out, an elbow or something like that. So it's all about drawing lines and then just making a shot. What that line does is once I draw that line, I could put my foot right on the line, and now I'm able to make efficient, tight snapshot. My snapshot window is about this big. So I roll out, I send the shot safety. If my foot is over here too much, I'm wasting energy and I'm inaccurate and just not stable. Over the obviously, probably gonna get shot. So drawing those lines, putting the foot on the line, you'll always see me try and find my target. What I'm trying to do is find the target so I can place my foot properly. Once I find him, then I'm able to place my foot properly, then I can make a tight shot. If I don't know where my target is, my foot's not gonna be in the right spot, and I'm gonna be wasting energy and inaccurate and just missing everything. So, number one, find the target, draw the line, place the foot, make sure that elbow's tucked, and then making that shot, okay? So let's get you in here. I want to do 2 shots high, 2 shots low, and then switching hands, 2 shots high, 2 shots low. When I switch hands, all I'm doing is throwing it over. That's how easy it is, okay? So I also want you guys to just practice just throwing that gun from side to side. And when you switch hands, your barrel should never drop, because what happens is I come out high, boom, I send a shot, come in, my still level when I switch, so that when I go to engage, I don't have to right? I'm already like at the same level. I already kind of know where the shot's gonna go. So let's get you in here. Remember, when you switch hands, don't drop that barrel, okay? So that when you roll out, you wanna be that angle, okay? Be that angle. There you go. 1, 2, down, good. And then tuck that elbow under. There you go. That's the biggest thing I see with all my clinics, man, is just put that tank a little bit higher. That way you can get your elbow under. Otherwise, when you lead, he's already knowing where you're coming. All right? And then top. Good elbow. Good. Good. One more. Focus on that shot. So right right now you're leading with that elbow. There we go. Okay. Yep. Good. Down. Good. I want you guys to have elbow consciousness. I'm telling you, elbow consciousness is going to save your ass out there. So many times players lead with that elbow and it gets them shot. Good shot. Good shot. There we go. Lock onto that target. Good job. Make sure that shot counts. Every time you pull that trigger, how many times does it take to shoot somebody? One fucking shot. Let's make sure those count. Keep that elbow tight. There you go. Focus. This target is very close too. You guys understand that, right? Let's focus. Yep. So try not to draw in quite so far, just to where you're at safety. But my shot box is like this, you know what I mean? So I send it, and when you send your paintball, the Russians are so fucking good because when they send the paintball, it's literally humming right on the edge of this. They don't come out too far. They send it right on the edge of that. All right. There we go. Nice shot. There you go. Up high. Keep that gun up, and be that angle. Become the bunker. So you're drawing too far in. Yep. There about here. Yep. Good. Good. Good job. Down. Yep. Tuck that elbow. Elbow consciousness. Be aware of that elbow. Also, another thing a lot of players they do is, sure, they'll tilt their gun to be the angle, but they won't tilt their head. So now you still have your head, the edge hanging out here. You got to tilt